All right, so this is my first impressions of this PDF army for the old world. I did record one for each and every one of the armies that are coming out that are going to be labeled a legacy. Now, if you don't want to wait for them to come out, because I'm going to put them out every couple of days or so, they're all behind the members-only paywall if you want to just watch them all right now. Otherwise, they will be out for you real soon. Skaven time. Somehow I suspect this is going to be the most popular video I upload. Skaven Warlords or Grey Seers, 1 per 1,000 in your army. Clan Rats, 1+ in your army, and then 0 to 1 Storm Vermin units in your army per 1,000 points. Otherwise, things are kind of spread about where you expect them to be. Mercenaries, they're uneasy allies with Warriors of Chaos. Oh, that makes sense. One of the first, I've told the story numerous times, but one of the first novels I've ever read as a kid about fantasy. I was really young. It was about like Skaven taking this warrior chaos through his cave, or like his den, showing him all his like torture rooms and stuff, and like set me out. Like I never read fantasy since. Like, nope, not for me. Anyways, commanders of the warlord clans. Skaven warlords or chieftains are your characters for fighty characters. 90 points for the warlord, 45 for the chieftain. The Skaven warlord is movement 5. This is weapon skill 6, strength toughness 4, 3 wounds, initiative 7. They're fast, 4 attacks, and leadership 7. They're not brave. Come with light armor and hand weapons made by heavy armor. 100 points of magic items on the warlord. Scurry away, verminous valor, warband, and warpstone weapons for special rules. So, warband, we know you add your rank bonus to your leadership. So, old strength and number that Skaven has is a rule across the board for all the armies, though a few army special rules have gotten folded in for everybody, which kind of makes sense. Strength and numbers always should have been an orc rule, and it now finally is. Let's go look up those rules, and then we'll swing back up to, Grey Seers are next. Oh man, I forgot there's so many things in Skaven. I'll try to go not too fast, but I'll try to keep the pace up so this video doesn't get too long. So Verminous Valor, a character with a special rule that has joined a unit that has a unit strength of 10 or more, may voluntarily retire to the rear of the unit at any time, moving through the ranks and taking up a position away from combat. Should they do so, they are no longer within the fighting rank and cannot make any attacks or have their attacks directly against them. However, the unit may still use their character's leadership. It is so Skaven. I love that. Hide in the back. Warpstone weapons. Oh, okay. We've seen this copy and paste through a bunch of different armies, but this is your first video. Units with warpstone weapons have AP1 on their hand weapons and magical attacks. Now, if you have 2 hand weapons, this rule ceases to apply. So it's only hand weapons. You gain magical attacks and AP1. So that's just like a really good solid rule. We'll see who has access to it. Scurry away. Models with this special rule have a +1 modifier to the result when they flee. Awesome. And there's 2 more rules here. I'm going to read them now so I don't have to come back to this page. There's a rule called Scurrying Masses. While within 3 of a friendly unit, this model gains a positive modifier to its leadership characteristic equal to the current rank bonus of that unit to a maximum of 10. Okay. Scurrying Masses just means you get the warband, get within 3 inches of another unit and use their rank bonus, effectively their warband rule on you from 3 inches away. And then there's Poison Wind. When a model with this weapon rolls to wound, a 6+ always succeeds. That's going to be so rare. I've seen like 2 things that are toughness 7. It was like the Nurgle Great Unclean one and the Steam Tank. Strength 3 can't hurt toughness 7. I think that's what it is. So this is that first part of this rule is not. It's near meaningless. Because keep in mind, in this edition, 6s don't always wound, but like effectively in play, they're always going to wound because there's so little things that are so high toughness that you can't wound them. However, no armor saves are permitted against wound caused by a weapon with this special rule. Okay, so Poison Wind, really good. Ignores armor, but you do get regeneration and you do get wards against it. All right, let's go back to the top. And for some reason, it just closed on me, so let's open that back up. The next thing was the Grey Seer, 185 points, movement 5, Weapon skill, strength 3, toughness 4, 3 wounds, initiative 5 because they fast, 2 attacks, and leadership 7. Hand weapon, and they gain D3 warp stone tokens. You roll before the army is deployed. It's a level 3 wizard, and you know, battle magic, demonology, which is really good. I think I realized while doing this series of reviews that demonology is my favorite because I get excited every time I see that. So demonology must be my favorite. Dark magic, elementalism, and I said elementalism as if it was 2 words. Elementalism and illusion are spells for the Grey Seer. You can purchase up to 2 level 4 for 30 points. Maybe mount on a screaming bell and have 100 points of magic items. Lore of the Horned Rat, magical attacks innately. Magic resistance 1, not bad. Scurry Away, Verminous Valor, Warband, and Warpstone weapons. Okay, so we got to look up the Lore of the Horned Rat, the spells for Skaven, and we got to look up what Warpstone tokens do. So that's page 22. Let's do the scroll. Warpstone tokens are actually an arcane item. Obviously, they're not rare. They're common, so they're 15 points apiece. And you have as many as you want in your army, according to port limits. However, the Grey Seer comes with D3 of them, or D3 plus 1, I can't remember what it said. A wizard may purchase up to 3, must be D3. A wizard may purchase up to 3 Warpstone tokens. Each of these is a single use. Before making a casting roll, a wizard may choose to consume a single Warpstone token. For each token consumed, they must roll an additional D3 and add it to their casting roll. However, for each natural 1 that is rolled, the wizard loses a single wound. Interesting. I wonder if that means each natural 1 on the D3 is a single wound, or each natural 1 on the casting value. Interesting. I'm going to lean that it only affects the D3. Comment below. I'll read it again, and you tell me the wording. Before making a casting roll, a wizard may choose to consume a single Warpstone token, period. For each token consumed, they may roll an additional D3 and add the result to their casting total, period. However, for each natural 1 that is rolled, the wizard loses a single wound. I actually can see that being ruled either way. I don't know how that works. Huh. Either way, I love it. And I want to look up the Skaven spells. Okay, we have 2 spells from the Lore of the Horn. Nope, 3 spells from the Lore of the Horned Rat. Skitter Leap. It's a conveyance with the casting value of 8 and range of 18. This spell can only target friendly characters whose troop type is infantry, but may target characters engaged in combat. You may immediately remove the target friendly character from the battlefield and place it anywhere completely within 24 of its original location, but not within 6 enemy models. The target cannot move again this move phase. Okay, I like it. Warp Lightning is a magic missile with casting value of 10 plus, range of 18. The target enemy unit suffers D3 plus 1, strength 5 hits at AP 3. Then Cloud of Corruption, magical vortex, casting value 10, range of 9, remains in play. Small blast, 3-inch template, so the center of the hole has to be cast wholly within 9 of the character. While in play, the template is treated as dangerous terrain, which no line of sight can be drawn. I love those spells. While within 3 of 1 or more of these templates, enemy units have a -1 modifier to their toughness characteristic. It doesn't move. I like all 3 of their spells. Okay. Exciting. I gotta get that Skaven army. Stormbolter! How's the Skaven army coming, buddy? Okay, Clan Skyr Warlock Engineers. 35 points, movement 5, 3/3/3/3 for the next bunch of stats. 2 wounds, initiative 4, 2 attacks, leadership 5. Like I said, they're 35 points. They also come with D3 Warpstone tokens. Engineer may be a wizard. If you are a wizard, you know spells from Battle or Elementalism. Level 1 costs you 40 points. Level 2 costs you 70. You can have a Warp Lock Musket or a Warp Lock Pistol. These are like 9 points or 6 points to upgrade. Lore of the Horned Rat, Magical Attack, Scurry Away, all this stuff you would expect. The Warp Lock Musket is range 24, strength 5, AP 2. Magical attacks and ponderous. Ponderous means if you move, instead of being -1 to hit, you're -2 to hit. Or instead of shooting at -1, you're shooting at -2 is what ponderous means. It used to be the old move or shoot, now it's called ponderous, but you can move and shoot. If a wielder of the warp block muster rolls a natural 1 and rolling to hit, immediately roll another d6. If on a roll another 1, the wielder suffers a wound. Even misfire, it blows up in your face. The pistol is strength 4 AP2 version of that weapon with only 12-inch range and the quick shot rule. So I'd probably buy a pistol all the time. The pistol is what, 6 points? Yeah, 6 points for the pistol, 9 for the rifle. Cheap little character. The Clan Eshin Master Assassin is 90 points. Movement 6, weapon skill 8. Ballistic skill 7. Strength, toughness 4, 2 wounds, initiative 8, 3 attacks, leadership 7. 2 hand weapons and throwing stars. 50 points of magic items, has ambushers. Eshin Infiltrators, evasive, harder to shoot. Feign flight, fire and flee, hidden. I'm assuming that means join a unit, but that rule's here in a minute. Move through cover, poison attacks, scout, scurry away, verminous valor, and warpstone weapons. Without purchasing anything, he has 50 points of magic items, but he's solid on his own. It's expensive though. 90 points is a lot. You can probably get a whole unit of Skaven with that. Eshin Infiltrators. When a friendly unit of gutter runners with the ambusher special rule arrives from reserve, it can be placed on the battlefield anywhere completely within 12 inches of a revealed master assassin, but not within 6 of any enemy models, rather than entering the battlefield edge. A unit cannot charge. Okay, so Eshin Infiltration. The assassin hides in a unit. That's the next rule. They should probably have rolled these in a different order. Assassins hide in units and reveal themselves to the enemy when they pop out of the unit. So after assassins on the table, gutter runners that are in ambush, instead of coming on the table edge, can come on anywhere within 12 of that assassin, not within 6 of the enemy. Kind of a combo rule. I don't know if it's good or bad. Not that it's bad. I don't know how often you're going to use it. Haven't played Skaven. But either way, the hidden special rule is Master Assassins are not placed on the battlefield at the start of the game. Instead, they are hidden within a friendly Skaven unit whose troop type is infantry, and that unit has strength of 10 or more. Make a note, blah, blah, so you know where he is. The assassin may be revealed at the start of turn sub-phase or at the start of any combat phase. Position the revealed Master Assassin as if you would a character that has joined the unit. A unit with a Master Assassin is hiding... Wait. If a unit with a Master Assassin is hiding... If a unit the Master Assassin is hiding in is destroyed or flees off the battlefield, he counts as being dead. So this guy's leadership 7, which is good for Skaven because you add the rank bonuses. He's solid leadership and offensive capability buffs to a unit. But he's 90 points. Keep that in mind when we look at the point cost of the units. Now, this is my first go through this PDF, so I'm assuming everything's dirt cheap. I could be wrong, but we'll get there when we get there. Clan Pestilence Plague Priest are 60 points. Similar stats that we're seeing on characters, but this guy's toughness 5, initiative 5, 3 attacks, leadership 6, and he, like I said, sees 60 points. He's a wizard and may take battle, demonology, or dark magic. He can, if he's a wizard, so he can purchase level 1 for 30 points. So 90 points for level 1 wizard. Level 2 is 60 points, so he's 120 points for level 2. Comes with a plague, may buy a plague sensor for 6 points. And 50 points of magic items. He has the Cloud of Flies, Frenzy, Lore of the Horn Rat, magical attacks, Scurry Away, all the rest of the rules you would expect on Skaven characters. So Cloud of Flies, any enemy model that directs attacks against this character during the combat phase suffer -1 to hit. That's sweet. And the Plague Sensor is Strength +2, so he's Strength 6 for the Plague Sensor, AP 1. Poison attacks requires 2 hands. And then notes here, a Plague Sensor strength modifier only applies during the first round of combat. In addition, during the command phase, a model with the Plague Sensor may re-roll any rolls. Wait. Oh, there's Steve can't read. During the combat phase, a model with the Plague Sensor may re-roll any rolls to wound of natural 1. Okay, so first round of combat, your strength 6 AP 1, re-rolling 1s to wound. Every other round of combat after that, your strength 4 AP 1, re-rolling 1s to wound. That's a solid weapon. All right, Storm Vermin. More expensive than I expected. Movement 5, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 3, strength toughness 3, 1 wound, initiative 5, 1 attack, leadership 5, 10 points a model. They have halberds and heavy weapons. They may buy shields for 1 point. I want to point out halberds are strength plus 1, AP 1. So they're going to be strength 4, AP 1. They can have an attached weapon team. We'll get to those later. Close order, horde, scurry away, warband, warp stone weapons. Oh, warp stone weapons. So purchasing a shield isn't a terrible idea because maybe you want to strike at strength 3, AP 1 with a 4 up armor save, or do you want to strike at strength 4, AP 1 with a 5 up armor save? But like I said, they're already 10 points a model. That's not exactly cheap in the context of Skaven. Clan rats. Movement 5, weapon skill 3, strength toughness 3, 1 initiative 4, 1 wound, initiative 4, 1 attack, leadership 4, but the claw leader, the claw leader, their champion is leadership 5. Actually, the Storm Vermin champion is leadership 6, so the champions of the Storm Vermin and Clan Rats are +1 leadership over the rest of the unit. 4 points a model. Hand weapon and light armor. Made by thrusting spears for 1 point or shields for 1 point. For context, for old guard, thrusting spears are just spears. May have a weapon team. Close order, horde, scurry away, and warband. All right, they're cheap. They're not goblin cheap, but they're cheap. All right, we're on to weapon teams. Weapon teams are 15 points. Same stats as a Skaven regular guy, regular clan rat, except for it's 2 wounds and 2 attacks, because it's actually 2 models on a slightly longer base. So it's 15 points base, and now we have to buy a weapon team, or a weapon for the team. A Doom Flare is 40 points. A Poison Wind Mortar is 55. A Rattling Gun is 50. A Warp Fire Thrower is 60. And a Warp Rinder is 30. Loner, Open Order, and Scurry Away. So deploying weapon teams, you deploy within 3 inches of the parent unit that bought it. You use the leadership modifier of the parent team. And you can't target them while they're close to the... Okay, so they hide nearby their parent unit. Okay, so the Doom Flare is a combat thing. It has impact attacks of D6 plus 1. It has counter charge and has extra attacks D6, which is interesting. I don't know why it's extra. Oh, in combat it is strength 4 AP 1 with extra attacks D6 because the crew has 2 strength 3 attacks. And then his impact attacks are D6 plus 1 at AP 2. How many points was that one? That one is the 40 points, so it's 55 points total. All right, a little combat buff. But like when you play Skaven, you're playing a gunline or a version of, right? So the Poison Wind Mortar is range 6 to 24. Strength 2, 4 under the hole. Bombardment, cumbersome, mover, shoot, poison wind. It fires like a stone thrower, but when it misfires like a black powder weapon. It is move or shoot, but it does have the poison wind rule, which means no armor saves allowed. I think it's a good weapon. Poison Wind Mortar was 55 points. 70 points for that one total. The Rattling Gun, 65 total points for that guy. Strength 18. Strength 4, AP 1. Range 18. Armor Bane 1. Multi-barrel, the new rule. And quick shot. So, always stand and shoot. No penalty for moving and shooting. Strength 4. What's multi-barreled? Oh! This weapon shoots like an organ gun using the multi-barrel special rule and the black powder misfire chart. We gotta open up the rule book. Let's see what a... We're getting faster with this rule book. Organ gun. When shooting an organ gun, roll 2 artillery dice when making any rolls to hit. Before making rolls to hit. The number of the artillery dice is the amount of shots you get. This is really good. If you roll a misfire on 1 die, you're -1 to hit with the attacks on the other die. If you roll 2 misfires, then you're misfiring. But it's only strength, so it's basically a mobile organ gun that is only strength 4. Really good though. Really good though. Really good though. without having play tested. Warp Fire Thrower is it's a fire thrower. Strength 4, AP 1. Someone shoots like a fire thrower, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it has a range of 6. So you only place a template 6 inches away from you. So the models here, you place a template, the big teardrop template, the small end has to be within 6 inches of the unit firing it, and then it moves forward like a roll artillery die, and just like shoot forward that far. Solid weapon, I would think. Warp Grinder is a melee thing. Ranges combat is strength 5, AP 3. It has the ambusher special rule, killing blow, and requires 2 hands. If a weapon team is equipped with a Warp Grinder, both it and its parent unit gains ambusher. Okay, that's cool. These weapon teams don't have to just be artillery. This is the okay. How many points is the Warp Grinder? Total, the Warp Grinder is 45 points to give a unit ambush and a little extra combat punch. I like that. Warlock Jazales. I think they're available to buy again. 19 points a model. Regular stats, only there's 2 models on the base, so 2 attacks, 2 wounds. Hand weapons, Warlock Jazales, and the Pavis. Open order, scurry away, and warband. What up, dude? Scari's in house. Feel free to, do your thing. Hey, you play Sigmar. Warlock Jazales, they're currently available to buy, do you think?
They're all pewter models. I have no idea.
Fair. I'm sure they're available. So 36-inch range, strength 6, AP 3, cumbersome, magical attacks, move or shoot. If the wielder of the Warlock Jazale rolls a natural 1 and make a roll to hit, roll another d6. On a 1, the unit takes a wound. So 19 points a model. Their squad size 3+. So 60 points. Let's call it 100 point for 5. Hitting on 4s, 5s for range. Then it's strength 6, AP 3. It's going to get work done. It's not exactly the cheapest thing in the game, but that's going to get work done. All right, next we have the Poison Wind Globadiers, 10 points a model for a basic Skaven stat. Unit size is 2 to 10. They throw Poison Wind Globes that are range 9, strength 2, move and shoot, so you can march and shoot. And they have the Poison Wind and Quick Shot special rule. So no penalty for moving. Can march and shoot. Can always stand and shoot. Hitting on 4s, 5s for long range 9. If a roll to hit is successful with a Poison Wind Globe, if a roll to hit is successful, a Poison Wind Globe causes D3 hits on the target enemy unit rather than 1. However, if a natural 1 is rolled, when making the hit roll with the weapon, immediately roll another D6. On a 1, D3 hits are caused on the shooting unit. I really like this unit. It is 10 points a model and frail as heck. It'll die to anything. Don't let them get shot by enemy bows. But they have light armor, skirmish, warband, scurry away, all the regular Skaven stuff, but this skirmish. Poison Wind Globadiers sound pretty sweet. Rat Swarms. I'm interested in these Rat Swarms. 2+. Unit size is 2+. 36 points apiece. Strength toughness 2, 5 wounds, 5 attacks. Leadership 4. Immune Psychology, Loner, Skirmishers, Unbreakable, and Vanguard. Toughness 2 with 5 wounds, Unbreakable. 36 points. Yeah, that would be an annoying unit. Rat Swarms are probably going to be a good thing in this edition. Rat Swarms are definitely going to be a good thing in this edition, I think. All right, because they have Immune Psychology and Unbreakable. Pack Masters and Master Molders. Pack Master is... Oh, this is for Ogres. So Pack Master is 5 points. The Master Molder is like a champion version. You can buy them for additional 7 points. They have Whips, Things Catcher, Close Order Horde, Leader of the Pack, Motley Crew, Scurry Away, and Warband. Leader of the Pack, Mauls of the Special Rule can only be taken as part of a unit of Rat Ogres or a unit of Giant Rats. Mauls of the Special Rule, including command groups, must be positioned at the rear rank, making up the rear rank. Any Rat Ogres or Giant Rats that the unit contains must always occupy the front ranks of the unit, pushing past any mauls with this special rule to get there if necessary. So, rat swarms so giant rats. So all the things that these guys can join, we haven't talked about yet. The Things Catcher weapon is Strength User, AP 1. Fight in extra ranks, Killing Blow requires 2 hands. Okay, so basically we're looking at paying... Oh, unit size has Sea Rat Ogre or Giant Rat profiles. You're basically paying 5 points to get probably better leadership. Okay, so Rat Ogres are unit size 2+. They're 48 points a model, strength 5, toughness 4, 3 wounds, initiative 4, 3 attacks, leadership 5. The unit may include 1 Packmaster for every 2 Rat Ogres at 5 points apiece. The actual Rat Ogres have Armorbane 2, Close Order, Fear and Frenzy, Horde, Safe from Harm, and Scurry Away Warband. So, do I like that stat-wise? I'm not wowed by it. 48 points for 3 strength, 5 AP, nothing attacks. But they do have Armorbane. And they're Frenzy, so it's basically 4 attacks. Okay, Safe from Harm. When an enemy unit shoots at a unit of Rat Ogres that also contains 1 or more Packmasters, that enemy must roll a d6 for each successful hit. Oh, this is a... Okay. On a 1 to 4, you hit the Rat Ogre. That's it. 5+ hit the Packmaster. In combat, you must attack the Rat Ogres. Or, sorry, Mauls on base contact. Which will be Rat Ogres more often than not. I don't know if I like these Rat Ogres. Movement 6. Packmasters are also movement 6. Squad's going to be effectively leadership 6. Pretty much you're paying thereabouts 50 points a model for 3 strength 5 attacks and no AP. And Rat Ogres are on a 50 by 50 millimeter base. They're chonky. Got to try them out. Not seeing it. Giant Rats, however, are 3 points a model. Movement 6, strength toughness 3, initiative 4, 1 attack, leadership 3. Who cares if you have Packmasters? They have the Fight and Extra Rank, Horde, Scurry Away, and Warband special rule. I love Giant Rats. They're dirt cheap. How many points are Clan Rats? So Clan Rats, you have to have a unit. You have to. But if you want to buy like shields and spears and all that kind of stuff, I can see some value on Clan Rats. They're going to be a little more expensive. If you want to go dirt cheap, I could either take dirt cheap Clan Rats for 4 points a model, or I can take faster and technically more attacks, because of the extra attack special rule, Giant Rats for cheaper. They're 3 points a model. I think Giant Rats have a place in the army for sure. We have to see if those models are going to be available to get. Night Runners, Night Runners are Clan Rat stats, but they have movement 6 and initiative 5, and they're 7 points a model. They come with hand weapons, but may take additional hand weapons for 2 points a model. They can buy slings for 2, throwing weapons for 1. And they have evasive, fire and flee, scurry away, and skirmishers. We need to find out what a sling does. Because I don't know. All right, the part of the video where I found it. Slings. Sling. Range 18, strength 3, multiple shots 2. What's their ballistic skill? Their ballistic skill is 3, so I don't like multiple shot on ballistic skill 3. Throwing weapons are not bad. 7 points a model for movement 6 skirmishers. Not a terrible unit. But gutter runners, similar stats except for they are weapon skill, ballistic skill 4, and a leadership 7. But they're twice as many points. They're 14 points a model. Then you buy slings for 2 points, throwing weapons for 1 point. May upgrade 1 model to an assassin, that's their champion. May have ambushers for 1 point a model. May have poison attacks for 2 points a model. Evasive, feign flight, fire and flee, move through cover, scout, scurry away, and skirmishers. Man, they're expensive though. Do I like these? So I want poison, but poison is 2 points per model, and I want slings. That's not 2 points per model. We're talking 18 points a model here? That can't be worth it, right? I could buy a Giselle for that. Some playtesting must be done with this. Maybe just throwing weapons in the ambusher special rule. All right, Plague Monks. Movement 5. Okay, hold on. Clan Rat stats, except for their toughness 4 and only initiative 3. 7 points a model. They can have additional hand weapons for 2 points a model. They have Close Order, Frenzy, Horde, Scurry Away, and Warband. So they're toughness 4. Not bad. They can have a standard worth 50 points. So there's probably, and historically this has been true, there's probably a magic standard that's really good with them. But 7 points a model for a toughness 4 unit, probably not terrible. But we have Plague Sensor Bearers next. These things are 13 points a model. Same stats as the Plague Monk, but they come with Plague Sensors. They also have Frenzy, Scurry Away, Skirmishers, Stubborn, and Warband. Plague Sensor, if we talked about it before, we'll do it again. Strength +2, AP 1. Poison attacks requires 2-hand. Reroll 1s to wound, and you lose the strength bonus after the first round of combat. That's going to be a pretty decent counterpunch unit. Plague Sensors I like more than the monks, but the monks might have some play. No, actually, to be fair, toughness 4, 7-point models isn't terrible. The Screaming Bell. It is a mount for your Grey Seer. It's a strength 5, toughness 6, 5 wound, 185-point upgrade for a Grey Seer. It counts as heavy chariot. There's a rat ogre on it. Has a dragged along special rule. Impact hits d6 +1 because it's a heavy chariot. Large target, magic resistance 3, scurrying masses, stubborn, terror, and toll the bell. Scurrying masses was a rule that... Oh, you get the strength number of the units nearby. Or sorry, not strength number. The rank bonus of units within 3. So Blessing of the Horn Rat is a 5 aboard save they get. And the Dragged Along rule is not here. Dragged Along. Why is the rule not here? I want to read the bell in a second, but they have a rule called Dragged Along. Like I feel like I know what it does because historically it is it back here. Maybe it's a core rule, or a core book special rule. Oh, it is. Okay, Dragged Along. A model with this special rule begins its movement within 1 inch of a friendly unit whose troop type is infantry that is not fleeing and contains 10 or more models, may replace its movement characteristic with that unit. So you stay within 1 inch of another unit, you move with them effectively, and then that's where your Scurrying Masses comes into play. You also use their rank bonuses for your leadership, which is going to be 7 on the Grey Seer. Okay, Toll the Bell. The Screaming Bell may be rung during the command sub-phase of your turn. Roll on the table below to determine its effects. Roll 2d6. If you roll a 2, Magical Backlash. Every unit, friend and foe, that is within the model's command range suffers a D3 strength 4 hits with AP 2. 3 to 4 is a Dissonant Peal. Until your next start of turn subphase, all enemy units within 18 of this model suffer a -1 to their leadership characteristic to a minimum of 2. That's so good. Lowering your opponent's leadership is good. Remember, like to fully break from combat, you have to roll higher than your leadership, and this modifies your leadership. 5 or 6, you get a Wall of Unholy Sound. Until your next start of turn subphase, all friendly Skaven units within 18 gain the Fear special rule. If your squads are big enough, that's going to come into play. 7, this is what you're going to get more often than not. Well, sorry, the most often. Until the end of this turn, all friendly Skaven wizards within the model's command range may apply +1 modifier to their casting roll. Not bad. 8 or 9, you get an Emboldened Clamor. Until your next start of turn subphase, all Skaven within 18 of this model gain immunity to psychology. Not bad. 10 or 11, you get the Rapturous Ringing. Until your next start of turn subphase, all friendly Skaven units within 18 gain the Extra Attacks 1 special rule. Not bad. And then finally, the Sorceress Knell. All enemy units that are within 18 of this model. Oh, if you roll 12, sorry. Including units that are fleeing or are engaged in combat must make a leadership test. If the test is failed, the unit suffers D6 strength 4 hits with no armor or regeneration allowed. Why is the boxcar the least interesting one? As a guy who played a spell called Devolve with my Beastman for a lot of years, I already know this is going to do no damage. You have to fail a leadership test. This should be the best one. You have to roll double 6 to get this. Either way, I like the bell, except for the, sonor. I can't say words. Sonorous. I can't. You ring the bell real loud. All right, Plague Furnace. It's the other thing this kit makes. It's a heavy chariot with a billowing and death special rule. This thing costs 170 points to add as an upgrade for, I'm going to assume, the Plague Priest. It is strength 5, toughness 6 with 5 wounds, 4 up armor save on these things. So dragged along, Fear, Frenzy, great sensor. That's the big thing we're going to talk about in a second. So it swings a big sensor, big metal ball of smoke. Impact hits are D3 plus 1. You do get AP because it's a heavy chariot. Large target, magic resistance 1, poison attacks, scurrying masses, stomp attacks D3 plus 1. All right, so the great sensor. Stomp attacks made by the Plague Furnace represents the great sensor being let loose to swing into the enemy with devastating effect. Any stomp attacks made by the Plague Furnace have an armor-piercing characteristic of -2. In addition, while within 3 of one or more models of this special rule, the noxious fumes billowing from the great sensor cause the enemy to suffer a -1 to their toughness characteristic to a minimum of 1. That's good. It only affects enemy units. Why? Okay. Enemy units within 3, -1 toughness. That's really good. That's going to make those clan rats, plague monks I was talking about earlier, that much better. Billowing death special rule as well. It's range not available. Strength 2, AP not available. Breath weapon. Oh, okay, it's a breath weapon with magical attacks. When making a roll to wound with this weapon, a roll of 6 always successful. And no armor saves allowed. Okay. So it has the smoky stuff. Okay. Plague Furnace is looking kind of sweet. The Doom Wheel. The quintessential, the iconic Skaven thing. Movement value is 3d6. Strength, toughness 5. 4 wounds. 145 point. Heavy chariot. Only 5 up armor. Close order, crushing bolt, immune to psychology. Impact hits D3 plus 1. Random attacks, large target. Random attacks is for the rat crew. It's 2d6 strength 2 attacks. Random movement, which we already talked about. Stomp attacks 2. And zap. All right, so crushing blow. Any stomp attacks made by the wheel have armor piercing characteristic of -1. In addition, an enemy unit that suffers impact hits from this model must immediately make a leadership test. If it's failed, the unit becomes disrupted at the end of the current phase. Now, you're not going to fail leadership that often, but this thing can disrupt you, which is good. Disruption means no new rank bonuses. That's pretty good. Its attacks aren't high. It's D3 plus 1 on the impact hits and 2 attacks on the stomp. And then you have 2d6 more strength 2 attacks. It's not nothing, though. One more thing. It has zap. At the end of every shooting phase, after all shooting has been resolved, place up to 3 small 3-inch blast templates so that their center hole is within 6 of this model. Once placed, each template will scatter D6. Any model, friend or foe, whose base lies underneath the template's final position risks being hit. At the strength of the artillery die at AP of 2. All right, auto-include. Auto-include. Doom Wheel's awesome. The strength could be anywhere from 2 to 10 at AP2. 3 of them, you place 3 of them, you scatter D6. Okay. I love the Doom Wheel. If a misfire is rolled when rolling to determine the strength of the template, the model suffers the brunt of the Warp Lightning Blast. The template is removed and any models hit by it are left unharmed, but the model loses... Wait. The template is removed and any models hit by it are left unharmed, but this model loses a single wound. Okay. Cool. I'm loving the Doom Wheel. The Hell Pit Abomination, 210 points for this behemoth that moves 3d6. Strength 6, toughness 5, 6 wounds, initiative 4, attacks are d6 plus 1 with leadership of 8. It does have Warpstone Claws, which are effectively strength users, so strength 6, AP 1, armor bane 1, and magical attacks. Okay. Immune to Psychology, magic resistance 1, regeneration 5 plus, stomp attacks d3 plus 1, AP on it because it's a behemoth, terror, timber, so it falls over when it dies, too horrible to die, and unbreakable. Okay. Abominable attacks. Instead of attacking normally in the combat phase, a Hell Pit Abomination may choose to make one of the following attacks instead. So instead of d6 plus 1 strength 6 attacks, you can do a feed. Nominate a single enemy model in base contact with the Hell Pit Abomination to be the target of the attack. If the model is hit, it suffers d3 automatic wounds with no armor saves permitted. Ward and regeneration are allowed. Avalanche of Flesh, place a 3-inch template, so it's directly over the unit you're fighting. Any model, friend or foe, but not including this model, whose base lies under the hole, risk being hit, taking a strength. A strength 6 AP2 hit. That's also really good. Ooh. Okay. Doom Wheel, Hell Pit Abomination. Oh, the play sensor thing. All amazing things, I think. The too horrible to die special rule. The first time a Hell Pit Abomination loses its last wound, roll a d6 before removing from play. On a 1 to 3, the beast wheezes his last breath and is removed from play. On a 4 to 5, the great corpse shudders and a swarm of rats burst forth. Place a rat swarm of one model within 3 of this model and remove the model from play. On a roll of 6, the Hell Pit Abomination jolts and shudders with an unnatural vitality before rising anew. The model immediately recovers d3 wounds. 210 points. Do it. Do it. All right, the Warp Lightning Cannon. It's 110 point, toughness 6, 4 wound cannon. It's a war machine. The cannon lightning range is 8d6. Strength is a star at AP3. Cumbersome, lightning strike, move, or shoot. This weapon does not use the Cruise Ballistic skill. Instead, it shoots using the lightning strike special rule. And then the lightning strike misfire chart. Lightning strike. When shooting this weapon, draw a straight line 86 in length from the model's base edge. Any model, friend or foe, whose base falls under the line suffers a hit. Strength is which determined by their artillery die. If a misfire is rolled, something's gone horribly wrong, and then roll in the misfire chart. I'm gonna skim the misfire chart to see if it does anything janky. Yeah, it does. Okay, so if you roll a 1, it's dead. If you roll a 2 to 4, unfathomable energy spin the war machine around before unleashing a potent blast of warp lightning. The warp lightning cannon shoots a strength 6 hit in a random direction, determining by rolling a scatter die. I freaking love it. And then 5 or 6, it's the high-pitched screech followed by a descending whirling noise. The energy dissipates harmlessly. The model fills the chute. So on a 1, it's dead. 2 to 4, spins and shoots out that direction. And 5, 6, you're fine. I love it. Plague Claw Catapult, 110 point stone thrower, basically. The Plague Monk crew have a lot of attacks. Really D3 plus 3 for their attacks. The Plague Claw Catapult is range 12 to 72. Strength 2, AP 3. Strength 4 under the hole. And it's large blast. Always wounds on a 6. That's it. Interestingly enough, I think it's AP3 all the time. Yeah, it's got bracketed for strength 4 for the hit underneath the hole, but it's AP3 against all the strength 2 attacks, which kind of makes sense. It's a Plague Claw Catapult. All right, cool items, or cool units. Let's go over magic items. The Fellblade is here. It costs 100 points. It's strength 10. It's got no AP. It has magical attacks and multiple wounds D3. However, no armor, ward, or regeneration saves are permitted against any wounds caused by this weapon. However, during the command subphase of their turn, the wielder of the Fellblade must roll d6. On a 1, they lose a wound. This weapon was actually meant to kill Nagash. It's back. It's going to kill your lord because you're going to roll 1 every turn. Otherwise, this is the most powerful weapon we've seen in all of the old world. The next weapon is actually one of my favorite I've seen in all of the old world. Is actually Weeping Blade. It's 50 points, strength user, AP2, magical attacks, multiple wounds D3, and it's poisoned. Multiple wounds D3 and AP2, love it. The Blade of Nurglage is 35 points, strength +1, magical attacks. Every wound you take from the Blade of Nurglage, take a toughness test. If you fail, you suffer -1 your toughness characteristic for the remainder of the game. The Death Globe is here again, 35 points. It is common. You have more than one of these. It's range 9. Magical attacks, move and shoot. You throw it. When a model with a Death Globe, single use, a model armed with a Death Globe must target a specific model within the range, which is 9. Make a hit roll as normal. If successful, center the small 3-inch blast template over the target model. Any model whose base lies underneath the template must make an initiative test. If this test is failed, they lose a single wound. I want to skirt back up real quick and look at the Assassin's Ballistic skill, because I want him to buy this. Yeah. Eshin Master Assassin is Ballistic skill 7. It's going to hit with this. Wait, can you buy it? Let's make sure you can buy it. May have magic items up to 50 points. Yeah, no stipulation. Perfect. That's going to be an expensive character. I think it'll be worth it. Warpstone armor is here again. It's 25 points. It's common, so you have more than one of these. Heavy armor. It may be worn by a wizard without penalty. It's 25 points for heavy armor that a wizard can wear. What else we need to look at? You can buy 35 points for a Warpstone amulet. It gives you a 4 ward save against non-magical attacks. I'm not seeing a banner like I thought I would for the monks. We have the Storm banner for 65 points is 1 use only. You activate it until your next start of turn subphase. Enemy units cannot use the fly rule. And all shooting is -1 to hit. It's kind of good for 1 turn. There's a Grand Banner of Superiority for 50 points. You add D3 to your combat resolution. Actually, here's a good banner. Banner of the Verminous Scurrying, 35 points. A unit carrying the Banner of Verminous Scurrying gains the Swift Stride special rule. That means after you roll your charge, you roll an additional D6. This is like cavalry. That's actually a good banner. Oh, the Brass Orb is here. It's 50 points. Single use. This one's not rare. This one's not common. Only one of these in your army. Instead of attacking normally during the combat phase, the bearer of the Brass Orb can toss it at a specific model it is engaged with. Make a single roll to hit. If successful, the target must take an initiative test. If the test has failed, the target model is removed from play as a casualty. Removed from play. Removed from play. It's the first time I've seen that I remember. There's a balanced spell in here. It's called the Storm Demon. Power level 1. It's a magic missile with a casting value of 8, 18-inch range. The target enemy unit suffers D3 +1, strength 5, hits with AP2. Why is that not an auto-include? It's an arcane item? Oh, it's meant for the Warlock to have Warp Lightning. It's Warp Lightning. Oh, and Warpstone Condenser. I want to read this because this has been around for a while. 50 points. The bearer of the Warpstone Condenser increases the spell range by 3. Additionally, when attempting to cast a magic missile, the bearer of the Warpstone Condenser adds +1 to the modifier of the casting roll. Finally, should they miscast a spell, the bearer of the Warpstone Condenser can reroll the result of the miscast table. It's 50 points. Not as good as it used to be. But not all things are or should be. Okay, Skaven. I'm not seeing their combat punch amongst their units. Characters are going to be cool. Their war machines are going to be cool. Their, what are they called? Their attached little war machine thingies. Sorry, this may be a whatever hour video for you, but I took a long break halfway through this video. I kind of lost focus. Clan Rats. Where's the thing where you take a thing? Where's the thing where you... Weapon teams. Yeah, sorry. Let me restart my summary. Characters look cool. Magic looks cool. War machines look cool. Weapon teams look cool. No big combat unit, but that's kind of cool in its own right, right? Rat Ogres, I'm not seeing it, unfortunately. So, yeah, there's that. Otherwise, Skaven looks a lot of fun.